Hello there, and welcome to UK Diesel and Electric Railway Modelling. And this is going to be a very short video. It's not going to be very complicated. What I want to do is, I've spotted a few videos where I've seen people have problems with lift-up hatches. So, you know, where someone has got, they, rather than climbing under their layout, they've gone and created a lift-up hatch so they can get in and access their layout. And I spotted a video a little while ago where a chap has had some problems with the track warping across the joint and causing derailments. So I want to show a solution to this problem. And it's been used many times in the past. I'm not talking about something that's brand new. It's been used time and time again, especially on exhibition layouts, you know, the ones where you got the traverser, where it slides backwards and forwards between tracks and they use the pin joints. So I'm just going to illustrate an easy way to solve this problem. So what you've got is you've got your piece of track and you want to have a board joint between. Now, the first things first, you need a good foundation. If you're making a layout, you know, if you're making something like this, you can't just have a piece of wood sat, you know, bridging between two board joints. If you can imagine, you know, you've got your plywood deck or MDF or whatever it is that you use. So you've got your deck on top of the framework, you know, 2x4 framework, whatever it is using. You can't just have a plank of wood going across the top. You need a similar structure. You need something of substance underneath so that it's got, you know, which will prevent the wood from warping. So, because, you know, you're going to end up with a problem where your wood wants to warp up, or it wants to warp down, or it wants to twist. So you need the solid structure underneath to make sure it doesn't do that, to prevent that problem. So that's the first part. But the biggest danger is, don't just nail, you know, pin some track down and have a cut between it, because across a board joint, track wants to, you know, it can move, especially, you know, we've just had a warm summer and there's been a lot, you know, there's been a number of people who have had problems with you know, track warping. Effectively it's spread over the summer, and as a result the track has gone and gonna kink, you know, put a kink in it or lift it up, because it's got to go somewhere. The expansion of the track has got to go somewhere. And just for those people who have worried about this, easy solution to it. When you've got your two pieces of track, just leave 1 millimeter across your fish plates, and that will allow, you know, per length of track, per yard, meter, whatever it is, per length of track, just have 1 millimeter on each piece of straight. The points aren't so much a problem, but across the straights it is, you know, flexi track, I mean. So just have that small gap, and what it will do is it will allow the, let's, you know, magnify it here. So what it will do is it will allow the heat to radiate into the track, and it will expand, and it will have somewhere to go. If it's braced right up, then it's going to go whoop, like that. You know, it's got to go somewhere. So it's either going to go up, or it's going to lift up the track in the middle, or it's going to twist the track. So you're going to end up with a sort of, you know, something that ends up going like this, because it's got to go somewhere. You know, it's got to expand somewhere, so it's going to want to go like that and twist your track. Maybe twist it like that. So easy solution there. So for board joints, so the solution is to get some of this stuff. This is copper clad board, okay? It's the stuff that you can make circuit boards out of. I use it for making my own custom boards here and there, you know, for lighting kits using surface mount LEDs, you know, things like that. And I got a new toy as well, which I'll show you another time, which is perfect for this work. I actually made a new circuit board, designed a circuit board yesterday, and I've got to take a piece of this, cut it, cut the tracks, and then solder all the parts on it. But, you know, that's for another video. So I'll keep you excited about that, maybe. So so what you do is you take a piece of this, and you can drill some holes in it. you know, and screw it down. Now, something to, and what we're going to do, I'm not going to be doing it in this video, but the idea is that you separate your track, and this goes across your joint. Okay, so if you imagine there's one, and here's another one across your two board joints. So what you'll need to do is paint some flux on this, and then you'll be able to solder straight to it. You know, just get some nice thin solder, and you'll be able to solder straight to this. Okay, so something you'll have to bear in mind is that the profile for this is thinner, so you might need to put some plastic card underneath, pack it up so that it's the same as your track. Obviously, if you've got cork, then you know, you'll have to put a lot more packing underneath. But like I say, use some thick plastic card, maybe some, you know, some thin ply, things of that nature. Something, you know, that will make the distance. So, you know, that's the part. So I've done a little drawing to illustrate the points. Let me just drag you over here. Move my go on, move over there. There we go. Okay, so oh, I've already got a few watchers already, so thank you for watching. So here's a little drawing I created before. Why is that flashing? Let's try again. Okay, so this is something I created a little while ago now, and you can see how the copper is made across the joint. Now, this isn't two pieces of copper, this is one piece of copper. Okay, and what happens is you lay your track right across it, exactly as I showed before, holding the track before. So you screw this down or secure it down, and then solder the track to it across both pieces, right there. And then once that's done, just cut a slight line across, not all the way through. It only needs, if we look, you can see it only needs to be a cut through. And all it does is it prevents, remember this is conductive across the copper. So you don't want a short circuit between this rail and this rail. So it just creates a separation. So just have your cut across there, you know, and if you get a short circuit, you know, then obviously you've got, you haven't cut it through enough, but, you know, easy enough. And then finally, we've got these pieces here. Now, ignore the fact that it's red and blue. I'm only using those to show polarity. So what you need to get is a piece of brass rod. So a piece of brass rod like this, and some brass tube. And what you do is you know, it's a continuous piece going right across, and then you solder them together, and then you take your piece of rod, which is the same diameter as the hole. So we can imagine they're the same diameter, and you just bend a 90-degree curve in it. So you got a handle, effectively. Let's just move that in the center. So we got ourselves a handle. Sorry for it shining up the different components. So, and then you just want to do a fillet, just get a file and create a curve on the edge, you know, so it's not straight. And what will happen is it will just slide straight through across your joint. Solder it together, solder it in place, you know, across here and on the other side, so there, you know, on the inside and the outside. So make sure it's nice and securely on. And then remove your bolt from it. And then you take a razor saw or a disc cutter or something like that, and you cut across your joint. So you now cut all the way across the entire thing, and that's separating one side of the hatch to the board side of the hatch. So this would be the section that lifts up, This is the piece that's the board itself. And so when you lower your hatch, then all you do is you slide your bolt through, because you just have the bolt hanging mostly out. And then when you drop it down, you just slide your bolt across, and then slide that bolt across, and you just run your trains. Now, if you've got multiple tracks, let's say you've got 2 tracks next to each other, the same applies. All you'll need is just a piece of wire to connect this one across to the next one. So you'll have, if you imagine a wider piece of copper or a couple of pieces of copper with a bolt on each outer edge. So let me turn this off so I can make a better illustration. Let's put it back in the center. Okay, so imagine you've got 2 tracks. So you can have 2 pieces of copper next to each other, or just one continuous piece. It's a bit more expensive, but whatever. The more you've got, the more stable it will be. So just have this across with both your rails going, both your pairs of tracks going across. Have one of the pins on the outside, your bolts on the outside, and then obviously you need to cut across the center to make sure there's no polarity between the two. You don't want the bridge between this rail and the next rail bridging as well. So you'll need a cut across there, and then it's a piece of cake. You'll just need to because the bolts. Sorry, I missed a point. The bolts create the polarity. You can effectively use the bolts to carry the energy, carry the power for the track across the board joints. So if you're using individual ones, then you'll need 2 bolts. If you're using DCC, then you only need 2. And also DC, you'll need 2 bolts per one because you'll probably be in a loop. For DCC, you'll only need the 2 bolts on the outside, and you can just get a piece of wire to connect this rail and this rail. So if you imagine 2 parallel ones, so you'll have this rail connected to this rail on the next one, so this rail, and then this rail connected to this rail. So it'll all be done that way. So it's a very easy solution. It's inexpensive. You can pick these up on eBay for a few pounds. So brass rod, well, you can get a piece like this. It'll cost you a few pounds. Brass tube that goes with it. Again, not very expensive. You're talking maybe about 10, 15 pounds for the entire project. And you just cut it to the size that you need. So, as I mentioned, it's a very, very short video. Not much more to say about it. It's a simple solution, and I think it will solve many of the problems that I've spotted people have with drop-down hatches. So, thank you for watching. I apologize that I haven't made any videos in recent months. I haven't done any modeling for 2 months. That's really depressing. Now, when I say I haven't done any modeling, that's not entirely true. I've done some 3D modeling projects. I created the lighting circuit yesterday. In fact, you know what? I'll show you that right now. Just load up the program first. But yeah, I wanted to try out that new tool that I got, and I thought I would use this old 86 body of mine, put some lights in it, so that I could try it out. So I made a lighting circuit, and I'm still waiting for the program to overload. Shows how long I've had this. Probably 20 years old now. So here we go. For it to open up. So this is a circuit board for a Class 86. Now, you probably don't can't make head and tails out of it. The yellow ones here are surface mount yellow LEDs. The one at the bottom is a white LED, and the two outside ones are the red LEDs, and these brown ones here are the resistors. And the idea is, you can see these blue lines, these are the power going across. So the green are the cuts. So let me show you another example. Oh, hang on, wait a second, it was already there. It wasn't that one I was after. Color, there it is. Okay, here's another example. So this is for a class 45. It's a 45-1 with the high intensity headlight on the front. Sorry about the ambulances going by right now. So this is a simple lighting circuit. So the idea is, you've got your blue common return, you've got a white head function 1 and green function 3, and on the other end of the loco you would have yellow function 1 and purple function 4. Sorry, yellow function 2 and purple function 4. So with a cheapy Hornby 8249 decoder, which has 4 functions on it, this will run all the lights you need. Headlights, taillights on one end, headlights, taillights on the other end, and you don't have to have a silly switch underneath where you got to flick it, which I find really annoying. So, simple idea behind it is, for the taillights, the power comes down the green, it goes into this section here. This is the copper clad board. The black are the cut lines, so the power doesn't jump between there and there. So so the power comes down here, goes across that LED, goes across here, across that LED, across the resistor, up the common return. And then for the headlights, something to bear in mind with surface mount LEDs, well, any LEDs really, white LEDs use a different current. They're more powerful, they require more voltage than yellow or reds for that matter. So if you have all 3 of them in a row, then this one will end up dim because the power of this one is higher, and therefore reduces the current to those. So for this, what happens is the power comes down here, jumps across that yellow, goes around the top, across the yellow there, and across that resistor, going up to blue, common return. And then for the white LED, it comes underneath, jumps across the white, across the resistor, and comes up across there. And it works perfectly well. I'll show you. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. That's what it is somewhere. Here it is. These are commissions that I've done for other people. Where is it? I saw it a second ago. There we go. Oh, jumped across there. There we go. So that's it working on a class 45 that I did for a friend. So yeah, you can see that the lights are equal on each one, and they can be turned on and off as you wish. With the Hornby decoder, just a cheap 8249, if you press turn the light on, press 1, I think it is. function 1, then the headlights go on in the direction of travel, which tells you which way it's going to go, which is useful. And then on my lens controller, I can press number 1 and turn on the red lights on the number 1 end, which would be that end over there, because that's where the radiator is. Generally tells you which number 1 end is. So you press 1 and the tail lights will come on at that end. You press 2, the tail lights will come on at that end, and you can have them on both ends if you wish. So very simple idea. So in the same manner as this, the way this one will work is that for the tail lights, the power will come down here, jump across that resistor and that LED, across here, across that LED, and there'll be my common return. And then for the headlights, it will come across here, across the resistor, across the 2 LEDs, and then to your common return. And then coming this way, it will go across here, jump across that resistor, that white LED, and then come across here. So let me find a picture of an 86 for you so you can get a vision of what it will be like. 86. That's a picture by Tim Horn. So you can see those are the 2 yellow LEDs, and that's the white LED. So if we let me reduce that down. Let's make it a bit smaller. Okay, so these 2 here are those 2 there. That one there is that one there. And then those 2 red LEDs are those 2 there. And to make, it would just be a case of drilling the holes, sticking a piece of fiber optic for this, because these are really, really small, or even just a piece of clear plastic. You can just stick a hole in it. And then, these marker lights that you can buy parts for. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing with that. So, yeah. So, yeah, so like I say, haven't done a lot of modeling lately. Certainly haven't had time to get on and do some serious modeling. The 33s that I've been working on, haven't done a damn thing with them. It's depressing. Since Demi Showcase, that was the start of June. I'm kind of disappointed. Problem is, I've had a friend come over to visit, so I've been tidying up. I've decorated the bathroom. I've had some stuff going on in my life that's made it a bit difficult. So, excuses, but summer is the kind of time where people do other things. Railway modelling tends to be a winter hobby. So, anyway, I've rambled enough. I'm going to get going. Thank you for watching. I hope for those people who've had hatches or have had problems with those things, hopefully it'll help them solve those problems. So enjoy your day. It's a rather grotty Sunday here. It's raining again, typical Manchester weather. And I hate this kind of time of year because it's warm. It's warm, but it's wet. And if you go out, it's like, oh, do I take a coat or not? It's too hot to wear a coat, but it's too wet not to. Weather. Anyway, enjoy your day. Bye-bye.